Hey guys, how's everybody doing? Good morning, good afternoon, happy Friday afternoon. TGIF, Jackson. All right, let's see what's going on. How about that? Don't have my phone on me, so I have to remember to share the screen because you guys can't call me to remind me. I'm watching CNBC though. They're saying we closed at all-time highs. That looks good. Hey Jackson, what are you doing there, buddy? Look what Jackson brought me. Just a second. Let me get Jackson some food. Jackson, why do you have to eat whenever I'm on the internet? I don't understand why you have to eat whenever I do a show. Huh? What's the deal with that, Jackson? Why do you have to do that? You want to make an appearance? Come here, Jackson. You want to say hi? Uh-oh, look at Jackson. Look at Jackson. Well, hi there, Jackson. Well, hey there, buddy. Okay. All right, 2 times in one day. 2 times in one day. All right, so whatever that is making a hell of a turnaround. I like that, the 3-bar reversal pattern. Or it's a 4-bar one and the gap fill and whatever. Anyway, that's a great bullish pattern, looking great. Good job, MicroStrategies. Those people have been waiting a while for that thing to turn around and, look at that. S&P, all-time highs. It's a daily chart. NASDAQ, not really all-time highs. It was all-time highs yesterday. CBC, such clickbait. They were saying we closed at all-time highs. Close on Bitcoin though. And Bitcoin never really closes. It trades 24/7, but AMD's off. I mean, nearly 3%. ARK is off 1%. So some of those things kind of pulled back today. Coin is the most impressive. Coinbase is now got rid of this. Coinbase looks great. Coinbase had some work to do, and they finally got it done. Happy days are here again for Coney investors, right? There's Cody right there. All right, let's see how the stocks in the model portfolio are doing. I'm a big proponent of Alti. Have about 25% of it in the model portfolio. I need to divest some of that. On Monday, I swear I'm going to cut back some of that. There's no reason to have more than 20%. I need to put somewhere else. I'm just trying to look at the headlines here. Anyway. All right. So there's Alti. Let's look at GPTY, which I have a pretty good little amount of. Not as much as I used to. I sold half of what I had this week of GPTY, and I bought WPay. And what else did I buy with it? I bought WPay and was it blocks? It wasn't blocks. I sold something else to buy blocks. I don't remember. Anyway. All right. Well, anyway, there's GPTY. Here's LFGY. I sold all of LFGY to buy blocks. Look at LFGY. That one looks good. Let's look at blocks. Speaking of blocks, blocks is kind of King Daddy. Yes. Look at that. Would you take a look at blocks? Well, I really like the way that looks. Let's look at SEPI. SEPI looks good too. Why didn't I find out about SEPI earlier? Just kind of one of those ones that flies under the radar. All right. I guess that's enough for charts. Maybe let's look at the crypto quartet. Looks like the Senate rejects some kind of funding deal. Shutdown's going on to next week at least. All right. I guess we'll just start here. That's Blocks. Blocks is amazing. It's up 1.5%. I mean, somebody corrected me today in the comments. HODL, hold. I thought it was Bitcoin futures because it just says Bitcoin. But I think I did say no, it's just Bitcoin also, because it would say futures. Maybe it's just physical Bitcoin. And yeah, somebody in the comments said, yeah, it's actually cold storage Bitcoin is what HODL is, which is sweet. Physical Bitcoin. FBTC, also either Bitcoin futures or physical Bitcoin. I forget which one. I think it's just physical Bitcoin. I don't know what ETHA is. I know it's Ethereum, but I don't know if it's physical or futures. Anyway, whatever the case may be, these guys have about 40% of the fund in the futures or the physical, whatever. I mean, in the instrument itself, not in the derivative. Now, the derivative instruments are Hood, Galaxy, Riot Blockchain, Iron, HUT, Coinbase, TSM, NVIDIA, Mara. Did you see today that one of the investment houses raised their target on IREN from, I don't know, 30 to 75 or something, or 50 to 75? I saw that David from X Funds posted about it. But they put IREN in a few weeks ago, and a friend of mine told me about IREN about a month ago. But it's been an amazing growth story. And we were also talking about this one, CIFR. I was talking about this one today. Similar to one of these stocks that comes out of nowhere. Been a great growth story. Let's look at CIFR. Cipher Mining, I think. Let's look at IREN. What's IREN? Is IREN mining, I think? Look at that. Look at that chart. The only chart I know that looks as good as IREN is GDXY. Now, I don't know. GDXY, actually, IREN even looks a little better, but GDXY doesn't look bad either. Somebody make sure. I need to sell some GDXY next week and some Alti. I just need to trim a little bit. Instead to trim a little bit and spread it around something else. Got to go with K Gold and K Silver on this one. I'm just kind of scared off because K Gold only yields 8%. I'm trying to do the dividend snowball. What in the heck is going on here? Anyway, but it's a great fund. It makes up for it. We'll get to the max factor in a little bit. K Gold makes up for the lack of yield with the extra NAV. I mean, I was just joking. K Gold's incredible, and K Silver. In case anyone doesn't know, it's the Howard Chan curve funds based on gold and silver. Silver is just 4 days old. I heard silver had a big day, and sure enough, it's up 2%. It's not old enough to be in the max factor. Let's just go to the max factor. Now we have loading all over the place, but that's not going to phase us because I have a backup plan. It doesn't, those little problems don't even phase me anymore. That was the old me that they used to bug. So anyway, so here's a backup. This is just sorted by Maxis Moxie ranking. So Week and Alti are up at the top. What were we saying? We need to replace, the other day, there's something that needs to go in Week's place. And I keep saying what it is and then forgetting, I forget what it is anyway. But let's forget about that right now. Let's just look at the short-term max factor. Look at this, Bobo, Tesla, GDXY, heck yes. These things are monsters. Look at, Bobo's gone from 15 to 19. Tesla's gone from, 8 to 9, not that good. But GDXY is killing it. Well, 15 to 17. Even the ones that are doing great, it's not really about NAV. Even some of the, like Palantir is doing great. One of the best ones you could have. Its NAV's done 41 to 47, which is great. But I'm saying it's still never really about the NAV with these things. The NAV's just kind of a bonus if you get it. It's about the yield. You want a good balance of both. Blah, blah, blah. You guys know my spill on this. Anyway, look at this SLVO. This is the silver-based fund, paying about an 18% yield. Past 90 days now, it's doing some pretty good stuff. It's gone from 81 to 91 in the past 3 months. I mean, that's pretty dang good. Here's iGold. But anyway, this is the short-term max factor. We'll have a full top 20 show this weekend. I don't want to talk about that too much. Let's go to the index buffer report, and let's see if you guys have any questions. Are any of you guys going to listen to the gosh darn it, I'm on the wrong profile. I'm going to go listen to the Will Ryan show after I leave here. Not Will Ryan. It's actually Ambassador Kwan. Index buffer. I can't remember what it's called. The Ambassador Kwan's going to interview Will Ryan at 4:00 my time, which is in a few minutes, 40 minutes or something. I'll probably want to check that out. I definitely want to check that out. We need to talk some about some of Will's funds. Okay, now what's going on here? Look at Q Up. What is Q Up doing up 16%? I mean, the market was up, but not that much. Not that much. So I'm thinking that is a misprint, but we have to deal with that first. Q Up, and we talk about it all the time. They just buy an at the money call with 10% of the fund. So if you have a day where the market's up 1% or 2%, Q Up can be up 10, 20, 30%. It's possible for these things, you know, this fund, and you can see they've been doing pretty well since April, because you put 10% of your fund in an at the money call every day. In the past 6 months, we've had some losing streaks, but we've had more winning than losing. So you're at, you know, and they've it's been a good little plan, hasn't it? Look, this fund's gone from 20 to 40. Doesn't pay a yield, but it uses options to get return that way. That's really impressive, isn't it? What's the AUM? There's no one even is in this. There was 2.6 for a while, and then everyone sold it. It only has 400,000 in it. Gosh darn it. This is an interesting little fund. It wasn't really it was actually, it's showing it was down today. I don't know why the index buffer report's showing it's up. It's a great fund. It wasn't up 10%, but it's going to mess up the scale on everything. We can still see here in SPY land, though. We could see the ones that did well. YSPY, WDTE, FIRI, Fire-Based Fund, Fund to Funds, CHIP-I did well. I really want to drill down on this YSPY, and it looks like it did the best of any of them. It did. Okay, YSPY is from Granite Shares, and that's who's going to be on with Ambassador here in 40 minutes, 30 minutes, 35 minutes. YSPY has been killing all of its competition. It's just murdering it. I mean, and to be fair, they're selling options on the leveraged underlying. We haven't really gone down since they've been around. Selling leveraged options. They'll undoubtedly go down harder whenever the market goes down. But they're doing a great job. It reminds me almost of when Roundhill came out with their index product and started beating the Defiance index product, and then was beating the SPY for a while. Well, that's what this freaking thing's doing. Check this out. So I want to get on, and I think it all comes back to, and I keep talking about making this video, and I haven't yet. It comes back to something I call distributable income. These funds that, you know, any fund can generate income, but is it distributable? In other words, without killing the NAV is what the is it distributable implies. Can the business model support the distributions, whatever? But the way they're doing it at Granite Shares, for whatever reason, they're a combination of factors. I think they're doing a good job putting out income that's distributable, where they can distribute a nice dividend. It satisfies everybody, and at the same time, pretty much get all the upside of the NAV. Because look at this. Look, they were beating SPY a few weeks ago. I don't think they are anymore. No, maybe they weren't. I could have sworn they were beating SPY. Well, I guess dividends reinvested they are, but I never look at dividends reinvested. But dividends not reinvested, it's 25 to 24. Come on. This game's going to go to overtime. It's a 1-point ball game. I mean, it's, you know what I'm saying? That's nothing. 25 to 24 is nothing. But yeah, SPY is ahead, which we would expect because there's no such thing as free money. You get that extra little 0.5% in return. In return, you have to take the little 1.1% dividend instead of SPY is paying about a 40% dividend and virtually catching all the upside, or I guess including the dividend, it is matching the upside of the SPY. So anyway, so SPY is impressive. Now, some of Granite Shares other stuff, in options, it comes down to path dependency, where lots of it is what happens on Friday when the option expires, unless maybe they decided to roll on Thursday. But then sometimes if you make a bad rolling decision, a manager does, or a rolling decision that doesn't work out well, it can cost the ETF. The ETF could fall behind the underlying. Well, I don't know what's happened with TQQY, but it doesn't look as impressive as SPY does compared to, there's TQQY compared to its benchmark. So I don't know. But anyway, it's whatever. SPY is one of the most impressive ones out here. This one, not as much so, but let's see what else they have. I guess I could get, they also have TSYY. We'll compare that with TSLY. Now, TSYY is the Tesla based one. And hang on. Oh gosh. What's cool about this one is, or it's interesting to me that it wasn't down as much as the Yield Max one in the pullback, because TSYY is using leverage. So it didn't pull back as far, but also it's using leverage and it's not ahead of the Yield Max one. It's kind of surprising me that the TSYY is actually not doing a little better. TSLY is holding up pretty good on that comparison, but it's just kind of a fun by fun. There's, let's see, NVYY. Let's compare NVYY to NVDY. But these are going to compare more so to the Rex and to the Round Hill W series because of the use of a little bit of leverage. So yeah, well, that's a good look for NVDY. NVDY is a good fund. I mean, NVDY is paying, well, not paying that much more. Yield's close. Yield's similar. They're similar. That's we'll call that a toss up. Let's see how NVYY looks to next to NVDW from Round Hill. Boy, this is a really good look for NVDW. These guys are just killing it. All right. Anyway, anything else we need to look at? We looked at the max factor. We can look at individual stocks if you guys want to. There's some really good stocks in here that are like 32nd place, and there's nothing wrong with them. EGGS, that just shows you how many more are even putting up better numbers, because I'm not choosing. I mean, FEPI is a great one, and it's 33rd. SPY is 35th. And look at the numbers it's putting up. It has 3% total or 3% NAV return on the quarter, and 11% yield, 14% total return for the year, and a 7 volatility. I mean, that's just steady as you get. And that one's 2 spaces in front of KQQQ. Now, KQQQ has better NAV return, has about a 7 or 8% NAV return, not quite as much yield. Instead of 11, it has 8, or not, call it 9. And, but you just whatever. Has a little bit more volatility, about twice as much, to be fair. It's all those tech stocks in there. But they have a 1-year total return of 26%. So there's lots of good stocks in the range from 30. There's old T-SPY. People love T-SPY, Triple QI, EGGS, FEPI. IWMI, SPY-I, APLI, KQQQ, GPIX, IDEVO. This is the range right here people love, and it's 29th to 40th on the list. And there's just not, there's just ones that are doing better. And they're mainly single stock ones where the single stock's just taken off, like Tesla and Google. So, I mean, as far as the biggest consolidated fund, diversified fund, the top ranked is XYLG. It really shouldn't be there. But so after that is IWMW. I mean, it's a 4% NAV yield. It's based on the Russell and it's paying a 22% yield. And it's made 4% NAV return without even including the yield just this quarter. At that rate, it's going to make 16%, in a year and pay a 22% yield. I mean, anyway, it's a good one. And then we have Blocks right underneath it at number 20. And of course, Blocks is a monster going from 21 to 24. I call it 22, actually. 2174 is basically closer to 22. But 22 to 24. A little bit more, actually. But yeah, 10.86% NAV. Combine that with the 28.5%, yield. I mean, now, to be fair, the volatility's high. It's a 39. But, anyway, I mean, they all have, it's just, they all have their characteristics, right? IVVW, that's a good one. YMAG is a really good one. YMAG's one that I think a lot of people would agree should be, that they like and stuff. QDTY, I wouldn't get much argument on QDTY being a good one. QDTY's NAV hasn't done that well. Its NAV's not even up 3%, but it pays that 26% yield. IAUI, continuing on with the gold theme, that thing pays a pretty steady 12% yield and has really good NAV return. Its NAV's up about 5%. Anyway, so much good stuff to choose from. And Biggie's fully diversified into 50 stocks. I mean, it's diversified somewhat. And that one does a great job. And heck, it's 28th. There's 4 or 5 better than it. But boy, I just my opinion, I really like Blocks and Alti. But just also my opinion, just looking at the way they do option trades and stuff, I really like the lightning spread one. And I really like Baggy and Biddy too. And there's other ones, but trying to think. But really the state of the art right now is the lightning spread fund, Alti, Blocks, of course. But also don't sleep on these GPTY and LFGY and SEPI and FEPI and SEPI, and there's so many good funds out there. I know you guys have your own favorites. Well, there's only 8 of you here, but that's really not that surprising because there is what's his name? Health and Wealth is doing a live stream, and he had 22 people over there. So maybe he probably has some of the people over there that are usually over here, and that's cool. He does a great job. Anyway, that's fine though, because I mainly just wanted to come on and just see what's going on, and then tell you guys about the big live stream at 4 o'clock. That's the one I'm excited about. I guess not a live stream. It's a Twitter Spaces. What are you doing this weekend, Marcus? Do you got any big plans out there in I guess Eastern Pennsylvania or wherever, or is you Western? No, you're Eastern Pennsylvania. Anyway, I'm trying to think what I'm doing here. My Sooners play. My Sooners play kind of a nobody, but our quarterback's hurt. So in the next week's Texas. So I'm looking forward to that one. Trying to think what else I'm doing. Yeah, gold is finally getting mainstream attention. Yahoo Finance article about GDX beating all the big. I know it. Isn't that amazing? Isn't it amazing? Just goes to show you what a diversified portfolio is. Why it's good, because I didn't put gold in there because I wanted gold. I put it in there because I needed some safety and diversification. And there's people that have had gold in their portfolio for years and for diversification's sake and for inflation protection, all kinds of stuff. And it's been underperforming. But it's finally, they're having their day in the sun. And not only gold, especially gold miners. I mean, GDX has just absolutely been killing it lately. Absolutely been killing it. Yeah, out there in Philly, PA. Have I ever seen why gold for gold? Is it by yeah, I know that. Very true. Have I ever seen why gold? Let's look at that really quick. Leverage with the mix of options. I think. I'm sure you're right, Ben. Thanks for being here. You guys probably know. Let's get a FinViz window open here, and was it iGold? I already forgot. Okay, iGold. Boy, it just took off. I mean, look at this thing. Total return 1 year, 32%. Paying a 15% yield. So, that's getting NAV upside too. That's wonderful. And, how you can tell, look at that. Total return, 32%. See that? Dividend, 16%. So what's the NAV return, the difference? And what can you do? You go down here to performance. This column is without dividends. Sure enough, it's pretty close. Performance for the year, 10%. You add in the 16 to that or whatever, it comes out. It comes out. But anyway, yeah, this thing's incredible. Look at all the assets under management. This thing was just managing about 130 million. Well, even just like a month ago, it was managing about 200 million, and it's just gone parabolic to 3.25. I didn't see what their positions were. I don't really know much about derivatives gold. I think it's what you said. It looks like futures and a little bit of options. We can look at the byproducts. What you output is your yield and you output your NAV. Well, here's the yield, 15.9. Here's the NAV return, 10.7. All right. And here's the total return. Well, basically you can add this one and this one to get that one. That's the idea anyway. Yeah, because 10 plus 15 is 35, and this adds up to 33. It's close because of compounding and because of that way it does, but it gets you close. Anyway, no, that's a good one. iGold's a good one. I need to get me some next week. GDXY has been good. Gold Y, yeah, I know it. Gold Y, every time I put it up next to something, it just gets stomped. Or I should say I put it up next to like GDXY. And of course, and that may not be fair because they have different underlines. But let's put Goldie against Gold GLDI against Gold I. Gold Y against Gold I. That's not a very good look for Gold Y, is it? A really good look for Gold I. Gold I pays a huge dividend. Let's look at Gold I versus, is there one called S Gold? We're talking about K Gold. It's just not very old. So yeah, here we go. Here's K Gold just spanking Gold Y. Great job, Howard. To be fair, K Gold pays a way smaller dividend, so they ought to be. You would expect them to be spanking Gold Y in NAV, and they are because they give you Gold Y pays it all back to you in the form of dividend. They pay a huge dividend. What's the other one? iGold. Let's look at iGold. Anyway, I like what Gold Y is doing and everything, but when I compare it to anything else, I can't find a good comparison on it. So I'm really waiting for the leveraged. K Gold's the best. I'd go with you on that. I will absolutely go with you on that. I don't doubt it at all. Knowing Howard, You know, I mean, out of that, I guess Howard and Jay, and probably he hasn't been on in a while, but I used to have the Tap Alpha guy, Sion, all the time. But yeah, knowing those three guys, but all of those guys are just meticulous. The funds are their babies. They know every little detail about their own fund. I mean, anyway, but Howard particularly is a stickler for every freaking detail. And he is, and those funds are like his baby. I mean, you know, I mean, that doesn't mean they can't lose money and they can't, you know, but I mean, my gosh, I mean, if it does lose money, it's not going to be because Howard or Cy or Jay or didn't think it through enough. These guys are, you know, some smart managers that had some well thought out plans, in my opinion. And same thing goes with David Nicholas from Blocks. But anyway, we have some good managers on, but I really think out of all of them, maybe the most cautious and particulars, just by his personality, just from what I can tell from interviewing him, was Howard from Curve. And you can see it in his returns. He's really meticulous about making sure that his returns are distributable, or that his yield is distributable. You know, that he can actually give it to you and without it, you know, messing up other stuff. All right, Redfish, what are you talking about? Like at a bar, but no dividend. I don't get it. TGIF. Well, it is like at a bar. Yeah, it is true. Metals are finally making a big move. I think Howard did know that also. And you see that all the time when people introduce funds. There was funds that were rushed to market in April because people knew it was bottoming. I'm trying to think what it was. Maybe Q Up, for instance. It came out like right at the end of February, but people want to get their funds out in a pullback if it's a bullish fund. But yeah, K Silver, I saw silver up a couple percent today. iGold's a different one, but thanks for bringing iGold. You haven't heard about iGold? I don't know where I've even heard about that. I'm not pumping it or whatever. I just, you know, when I've done these lists forever, this max factor I've been doing for about a year. And before that, I did the retirement simulator when I would put different stocks in. And I just needed stuff for gold. And I don't know if I Googled it. There's only like 2 or 3 golds like a year ago when I started. And one of them was iGold. Gold Y wasn't around yet. You had iGold and you had Gold I. But they weren't really good selection. I think Gold I is an ETP and uses it does it different. It uses swaps and it's just not as robust but anyway, but now with the advent of the covered call funds coming out and these funds have figured out how to do strategies and pay you your own money back as return of capital. I mean, that's kind of the business plan. Not really your own money, but sell options, give it back to you, coded as return of capital, you know, and it does a lot better than bonds. Everyone's happy. But yeah, you guys bring stuff to my attention all the time. But yeah, I've heard of iGold because I needed, when I was doing the retirement simulator a year ago, I was looking for stuff to put in for gold because I knew people would need gold exposure. But at the time, their gold and oil, before Defiance came out with a lot of stuff, there wasn't really a lot of stuff. Now, another one to pay attention to maybe is IAUI. And I got turned on to that one from friend of the show, Susan, who's sometimes in the comments. She likes that one. You think BAR's the best? I saw a BAR today. Now, BAR is just physical gold, right? Because I saw that today. It's kind of like the cold storage. It's kind of like HODL, you know. It's just physical. I think. Let me look. Let's look at. I'm trying to find where's a FinViz window open yet. Why don't I have a FinViz window open yet? I mean, I have multiple ones open. Why can't I ever find one? Okay, yeah, BAR. Yeah, so it's Greenwich Gold Shares. I'm a derivative guy. I'm fine with the ones that just take the GLD fund, own a synthetic, and sell covered calls on it. But there are some people that are big on having the physical and stuff. But it's still an ETF. You don't really own the physical because you own an ETF that owns the physical. But whatever. If that's your deal, I mean, if that's your deal, this is cool. But yeah, I think for me, I think it's going to be interesting. When's Rex going to come out with one? I mean, Rex, I bet, could do a good gold one that had some growth and income, use a little bit of leverage and use it on half the portfolio. Or Round Hill. Does Round Hill not have a gold one out yet? I bet Round Hill could do a really nice job with the gold one as well. All right, guys, it's 3:47. That other show starts in 10 minutes. You guys got any questions? Ask them. Bar is basically a smaller gold fund. Well, that's right. And also GLD invest in physical gold somewhere, right? I guess they all somewhere are invested in gold somewhere. I mean, I never thought about what's gold invested in. I was kind of thinking, I wonder if gold's kind of like a SPY, kind of like an index of stocks related, but no, it isn't. They just own, but I thought they maybe own gold futures. I figured GLD would just own a perpetual futures contract and just sell it as an ETF or something. That's kind of what I thought. Yeah, but Bar is actually owns the actual gold bars themselves, hence the name Bar. Well, now there's 11 of you guys here, so that's nice of you guys. Are you guys going to go listen to this Ambassador Quan show? Let me give you the link. I mean, I'm really interested in distributable income in hedge fund style funds, and the ones that have the distributable income and hedge fund style funds are Granite Shares, Round Hill, Rex, YieldMax, and Defiance. Now with Defiance, you don't sleep on Defiance with these lightning spreads and these other things they have out. Do not. It would be a mistake to sleep on Defiance, in my opinion. But let me get this thing, the spaces here. I thought about even just live streaming or just simulcasting it, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. Plus, I just want to sit here. I'm just going to sit here and play my guitar, but on mute. And if it's not simulcast, then so in other words, I don't have to pay that much attention. But I do. Maybe Ambassador Quan, let me ask a question. Maybe I wouldn't mind that. I'd like to ask him a question or two. So let's see here. It's probably my notifications. No, I got some follows, some messages. Ambassador Quan said a link could go. Yeah, here it is. I never know how to share these links with you guys. Do you guys know how to do this? Reply, copy message. All right, that's what I'm supposed to do. I don't think that's. I think a copy. I don't know. I think I got it jacked up. Well, yeah, I just kind of want to go listen to him and see what Will has to say. He's a sharp dude. I wish I could go to that conference, that Rocktoberfest or whatever it's called, Stocktoberfest. It's right there. My dad lives like less than a mile from the conference center, or it's a hotel. Anyway, all right, guys. Well, yeah, IAUI is a good one. It is a good one. Okay, now what are we talking? We have some new stuff coming in. Gold miner is GDXW. Is there a GDXW out yet? If I just wasn't aware of that, that makes total sense. And I'm sorry, I'm a little bit more. GDXW. They need a GDXW. There's a GDXD, which is 3-time leverage. GDXJ. We never talked about GDX. Well, that J. There's also what about the silver junior miners income one? I never talked about that one either. GDXY. Yeah, but Round Hill, I'm sure they have it announced, or if maybe it's already out, or if not, it's coming out, and I don't know about it. You know me. QLDY seems promising. Yes, I'm just into the QLDY has a chance to beat the market. Alti has a chance and is beating the market. Same with SEPI, GPTY, same with any of the ones they run the stocks in and out of. Those that are managing not with the goal of we're going to lose for sure, with the goal of we're going to try to beat it. That KQQQ, same thing. So it's a whole new paradigm. So anyway, making sure I'm not missing any questions. Andre, thanks for being here. I'm just seeing your questions. I don't know if I've seen you around. I've seen you around here before. Okay. I got you. They're coming out with it. I didn't see the first message. I just saw the second and then looked it up in FinBiz. Well, that'd be wonderful. But I'm all about that. Round Hill, there's all of these guys have their own little niche and their own little thing that they do well, right? So, all right, guys. Well, I certainly appreciate you guys. Let's look at, I just saw that, Marcus. I don't know. I don't have any, I have my feelings hurt since I don't have any. So I didn't, I hate to look at it because every time I do, it makes me pissed that I didn't get me some. But it's not really my mandate for what I'm doing with my brother-in-laws. It doesn't pay a yield, but we should have just got this anyway. Holy cow. Look at this thing. It's leverage, though. The reason, because they give you 100% Bitcoin and 100% gold, but with the same stack of money. So it's, they're leveraging it. It's, but anyway, it's whatever. It is whatever. It works until it doesn't. All right, guys. Okay, one other thing. I see this BITK got his first distribution today. Okay, BITK. I was talking about that today, and I could not remember the ticker. Yes, because I remember talking about this the other day. They're doing 0 DTEs on IBIT, but there isn't any 0 DTEs on IBIT. They only have weeklies, but they're doing it synthetically with other stuff. And yeah, no, thank you for keeping me up on this one. Make sure that this one is really interesting to me. I cannot wait. Sorry, I already paid a 5.83% dividend. It's been out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days or 7 days. So, divide 7 into 252s, 34, something like that. So multiply 34 times 5.83. Is that right? 1/7 is 1/34 of a year. I mean, I think they'll slow down a little bit from that pace, but yeah, that's impressive. That is damn sure impressive. All right, guys, I don't see any other questions. I'm going to go hit this Twitter Spaces. We got 6 minutes to be there, but I'll see you guys over there. Or if not, we'll talk about it in Discord. If there's something we forgot to talk about, hit me up in Discord. What is Palantir doing down by 13 points? What the heck? Is that some kind of after hours, or did that happen before hours? I mean, I just hadn't noticed that. I've been watching this all day, I thought. No, I guess it's just down. It's actually up a little bit after hours. Things are just pulling back today. All right. Well, things look better for Coinbase. I'll say that much right now. All right, guys. Take her easy. See you over at Twitter Spaces. Later.